again. Let us continue. We'll get there eventually. February 24th, 3:12 p.m., Wright and Company Law Offices. Thank you for the welcome back. So sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures, Chad. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. If you paid attention, Phoenix, it probably. Or what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? What do you mean, what did you have to do with those killings? What, but she's the witness. It's right there. It's like, there's like 7 words on this page. Come on, Phoenix. On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I mean, you were... It's not really a surprise. I mean, I mean, I guess it's more a surprise that she was being attacked specifically, but, like, that's not really new. Okay, speaking of which, did we get any fun profiles to look at? Well, well, I don't know if this is fun, but we have Neil Marshall's deceased profile. Prosecutor murdered 2 years ago in the SL9 incident, Jake Marshall's brother. We have Joe Dark, deceased. Serial killer responsible for the SL9 incident 2 years ago was given the death penalty. And I don't think we have anything else here. Let's continue onwards. I didn't see that one coming. Oh, Phoenix, you don't normally see anything coming. This isn't really new for you. Well, let's run down the topics. SL9 incident. Happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I could still see it now. Permanent picture? Let's ask about after the incident. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? Phoenix Blind is back at it again. That's a good one, I like that. I'm kind of picturing just Phoenix Wright and we put a blindfold around him. That would make a good emote, potentially. The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though we may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After the case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Let's ask about the permanent picture. What did you see in the instant the crime occurred? She ... Dark knocked Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd be a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Let's ask about something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, he's being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. ... from Phoenix. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. Uh-oh, chat. Oh no, we're being bamboozled all over the place. Uh-oh. She had a different occupation. All we know is lies, chat. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Wait, but I don't think that's how that works. Did she take a bar exam? Like, wait, what? Lana used to be a detective. I better have another talk with her. Well, I guess it's time to move and have an... Oh, actually, hold on. Gotta present the badge. See this? It's my attorney badge. Ah, well, never seen a real one before. Oh, okay, never mind. Same data. Sorry, so we get a new conversation this time around. Never mind. She's just talking about its composition and how little it would fetch if sold. February 24th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Lana. Mr. Wright, seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. I guess if you fabricate your own evidence, you make the best detective / prosecutor and simultaneously the worst one. Exactly. I mean, imagine failing a case in which you had all the evidence made up. I mean, that's pretty bad. Now the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. Yeah, I'm still questioning the whole police officer to prosecutor thing. Like, she didn't have to go to law school, or do any additional certifications from being on the force? Whatever, it's fine. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Well, let's talk to her. Actually, let's see what the detective thinks. Police officer, excuse me. Scum wanders to the visitor's room. Seems frozen in place, cowering under the room's oppressive atmosphere. Yeah, that's about right. Today's trial. A lot of the revelations were uncovered at the trial today. Not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one, 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the matter of the fact is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, when Miss Starr said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. Oh, the music looped there. That was weird. Detective Lana Skye, next topic. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Dark investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? Means the investigation was led by Demon Gant, right? Yes. Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office, and the same investigations. We even had the same office. He led a team of the best detectives on the force. I don't know if Angel Star was ever your best detective on the force. Is it just by process of elimination no one else is left? Is that what happened, chat? You mean the lying liar who sits on a throne of lies? We couldn't get like a single story straight in court? That Angel Star? I don't have high hopes for this team, chat. Maybe they should just reform the entire police department. Just purge them all, chat. Is there a single person that isn't corrupt? Other than maybe Gumshoe. Maybe. Detective Goodman, whose case it was. Jake Marshall and Angel Star. I guess if I add in the phrase competent, I think that will rule out like 90% of the police force we've seen so far. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. They were also the only detectives they had, exactly. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. The Blue Badger's not corrupt, also true. That was when his final murder took place. And he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. First one at the scene. He murdered the truth, also true. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, and fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So, you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who'd passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seemed Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her, after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident, just by chance. That case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes, because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes. His actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Exclamation mark from Lana. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gann and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The Chief's office. Maybe we should look at the Chief's office. The site of the final SL9 murder. Well, I mean, if the game tells you to go there, you're just gonna go there. How do I get there? Oh, I have to go to the law office, then I go to the police station. It's a little weird, but whatever. February 24th, Police Department, entrance. Howdy, Bambina. Actually, how are you not in jail? Wait, hold on. Right, chat? Wait, he stabbed a police officer. Why is he walking around exactly? Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Hey, Sarah. I guess... I imagine it, in translation, it's what happens, happens. But I don't know how to say that word. I'm double checking. Let's learn Spanish today. Whatever will be, will be. I guess that makes sense. I was pretty close with the context. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance. We all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? I don't know, you're not a prospector. If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Dark trial. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade in the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, that report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Prosecutor Marshall. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning. By nightfall, there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. Tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Let's ask about scars. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant and Skye, chat. The investigation led Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Shocked face. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. Never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict, but someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Oh, there we go. Hoffing it and chugging. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. I'm gonna refrain from commenting until a certain plot element happens, but I was kind of laughing that Lana used a certain expression before, and I'll draw attention to it again once it becomes more apparent that it is a further pun. February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. It's got literally the same number of people. That must mean everybody's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. The chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth. Not to mention our statements in the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, I'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Good riddance, you weird cowboy wannabe. Wow, Chad had enough of that character, apparently. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right, you can't go in there, it's off limits. Wow, big fail. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Here we go, chat. Look at this room. Look at this room. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I forgot about this room. Holy. And there's the organ he used to play his own theme song. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius. Oops. Immediately got dialogued. Never could remember where C was. Oh, it's you two! What in the world is this room? This is Ganon's castle. It's certainly something. Chief Gand. Yeah, there's the armored statues that come to life when you bump into them, chat. They're gonna kill us at any moment now. But there'll be a staircase beneath them, so don't worry, we'll get some treasure. This guy does think he's the JRPG final boss. Well, we'll see where it goes. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. Chief Ganondorf, oh no. See that big picture on the wall over there? Uh-oh, chat. Uh-oh. I think we know where that urn came from before. Oops. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. So we get the truth about the urn potentially here, chat. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. It is what I thought it was. So I also didn't want to ruin it because I remembered that there was something wrong with one of our pieces of evidence. That's fine. I will not bring it up further, but chat might have observed something else with this picture that is different than we're expecting. But it's been a while, so it's okay if you forgot. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Perhaps it would be safe to say that someone in the photo is putting their finger on something that is wrong. Gant team picture added to the court record. Photo of the award ceremony of Gant, Lana, and Neil. I love the music pausing sometimes. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, there's no need to investigate it anymore. ... exclamation mark. The K isn't broken? You have the right idea. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. We'll give it to you on that one. There's something not quite with the letter itself, but it's close enough. I'll give it to you. It does have to do with the thing that was being held, yes. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems the case isn't over with yet, after all. So we'll point it out, chat. And take a look at the trophy, how it is here. Take a look how the trophy is here. Little different, right, chat? Anyway, back to Phoenix. It seems the case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we could get inside the chief's office. Guess we just go back in the building. I got nothing better to do. February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Cosplay as professional organ cleaners. That would be a good one. Can you imagine? They just come in with like a big fluffy thing on a stick. They're just like, we're here to clean. From sitting so long. Actually, I'm serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, I had a feeling. That's why I said I was gonna give it to you. But for everybody else, we'll highlight it a little bit. It's not a sword, though. At least I don't think... Well, I guess... Well, let me think about it. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything. I've heard it as different weapons. I will put it that vague before. I guess it's usually a sword. It's either a sword or a lance. Yeah. See, it refers to something, but I can't reveal it, and I can't double check it without completely revealing what it is. So I'm not going to say something else about it, other than I'll say that there's a reason it's those two objects. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you two and the court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Well, I guess we'll talk a little more. Edgeworth's crisis. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Honest Sky is the guilty party here, isn't she? Emma ... Regardless, the prosecutor's responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. Gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problem with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. After all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Ooh, let's watch him crack. That sounds fun. SL9 incident. I actually took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. Seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget it. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. Wow, the game is just straight up telling you what to do. Okay, that's fine. Listen, if we just put the easy path to the end, that's fine. Just tell me what to do. We're good. I don't have to think anymore. Brain off, chat. Might jog his memory. I mean, we'll do that in a moment. We'll go to Dark's crime first. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He's just your run-of-the-mill businessman. Businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. That's certainly a line right there. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. He'd walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, Jocker came upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Oh, wrong person speaking. I'm gonna say, Phoenix said that. He said, looks like he's a careless animal. Excuse me, I did the Gumshoe voice by accident. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness. AKA Emma. Well, I mean, the game literally told me what to do, so let's present the murder weapon wherever it is in our giant file list. Here it is. Switchblade knife. I keep forgetting I gotta present it this way. It doesn't like it the other way. About this. Hey, is that? That's a tag attached to it, the label SL9 incident on it. He wanted that good KD. Oh no. It's true. He's going 5/0/0 on that one. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? That's a good question, Detective Gumshoe. Why do we have all this evidence we never handed over? Why do we have it indeed? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Okay, final topic, murder weapon. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store where he bought it. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at that knife, You'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. Phoenix, exclamation marks. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Neil's autopsy report added to the court record. Switchblade knife updated in the court record. Broken tip was found in victim's body, belonged to murderer Joe Dark. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. I'll ask you one more thing. What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gann. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Gee, chat, if only we had an ID card from anybody in the office, just anybody at all would be able to open it up. If only we had someone's ID in order to do so. Oh, sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. Oh, Emma, don't show it to him. He might actually collect evidence for once. Don't do that. That won't work either. Data was deleted the day he died. Oh my gosh. They did proper security measures? Wow. You know what? I'm gonna give him a round of applause on that one. I didn't see that one coming. Good job. You did one thing. You did one thing right, police department. We can put one positive thing on one side of the list against the sea of text on the other side. I know. I can't believe someone actually followed procedure in this world. That's crazy. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe was our only chance of getting into that office. Wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. I don't think we have that something yet. Let's go back to the entrance. Go to our law office to go to... Wait, I can't go that way for it. Oh, my bad. I forgot. Duh. Underground parking lot to go there. I'm trying to go to Edgeworth's office, essentially, chat, so we could get something that would motivate him. Like either a statement from Edgeworth, a piece of evidence from Edgeworth, or more plot so we know what to bring to him next time. February 24th, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. No one's here today, not even Miss Starr. Oh, thank you. I'm tired of dealing with her. But just kidding, I know she has to show up again because we didn't get the achievement yet. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. Must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. And instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. February 24th, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. Looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. It's another allegation to me. Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Can I examine the crumpled ball of paper? I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him, I'll check it out. Hey Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumtree out the window out there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground! Hold on. First let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. He's so smug, jeez, chat. It says, Letter of Resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside of me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. You're just a terrible person for different reasons. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. No one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I could use it for anything. Letter of resignation. Put into pocket. It's in our pocket, chat. Got it. He's serious. Anyway, let's talk to him. Forged evidence. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to attain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. That bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Tomorrow's trial. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. Never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? List of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. Only half as long as most lists? That is odd. Mr. Neil Marshall was murdered. Became prosecutor for that case. May not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture. Something seems strange about it. Hey, the crime. Could you tell us what happened on that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning and drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gann asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes. It was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. It's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. Well, let's present the photo we just got. Where we can see the trophy is more intact. Let's present. Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, you can check it here as well in the present menu. Never mind. I should have just gone here first. The picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of the Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall's holding. A little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Okay, here we go. I didn't want to reveal what it is, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna say it now, finally. Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling us what it is? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Oh, what a tease. Let's ask. Maybe they'll finally say it so I can talk about this. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. Thank you. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Shu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Objection! Those claims contradict each other. We're very excited to shout objection, apparently. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. Ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion. Even if it results in something as ugly as this. He was very excited. The theme music did kick in and everything. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. Learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. 2 years ago, the halberd was removed against behest. Giving it its current form. Chat. Symbolism! just wink. Let's see. Do I need to do anything else here? I don't think so. You can look at the trophy again, just in case. That's such a prestigious award. Why would he just leave it on the couch? Yeah, you'd think he'd want to show this thing off more than the giant steel samurai. What is it? This is the King of Prosecutors award, right? Of course it is, you know that. There's something today that looked like this somewhere. Oh, Emma, we just had this conversation. Something that looked like that. Yeah, only different. Now, where was that? He's right. Something's amiss here. Maybe I should show Edgeworth that item. It's okay. They just had a moment of, you know, amnesia. They'll be fine. Yeah, Chad, I'm sure it's just a coincidence it was 2 years ago. There could be all sorts of innocent explanations. February 24th, Prosecutor's Office, Underground Parking Lot. Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Starr, I guess she's out of lunches. So, if everything went well, I should have received every food item now. So sorry, chat. That's the last thing I have on my notes. I was just making sure I didn't miss it. So no more food from her. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. I'm sorry, what? I read the statement. I didn't internalize the statement. That is certainly a statement that she just said, I guess. Still, never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Yeah, ... is the only appropriate response there. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be contributed to mere coincidence. Angel ... too. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? Instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Star's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Dark investigation. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall. Though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. Okay. After case closed. That legendary pair was the reason we're able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong. Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while their items were kept secret. We also had witnesses that lied about their testimony, like where we were at the time of the murder. Oh wait, that's just me. I'm being a hypocrite. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without ever so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. Legendary duo. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. Isn't that exactly what we do in Court Kingdom? Secret for you to 7th in there. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, we're all terrible people that should be in jail, let's be honest, including the judge. His magnetism. By that, I mean his ability to attract evidence. Still very courtroom shenanigans and not all by the books. It's certainly just whatever goes, apparently. He produced the most incredible evidence in cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean, oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she'd lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Star. That's why. I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Being used. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, the position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean, that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, rookie. Takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Well, Chan, I think we have the piece of evidence to finally get into the police department. So we should be able to present the resignation letter to turn Gumshoe over and get access to the area again. Oh, you're back! You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Ruined coffee, copying files, turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? I'm not mistaken. I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. Gotta admire your persistency. My answer's still no. Huh? I'm letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we could do to make the detective change his mind. You could read the letter, maybe. Can we zoom in at all? No, it's kind of gibberish. Due to recent events, I hereby announce my resignation as public prosecutor. You really wrote a resignation letter. Wow, even resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. Still, it wasn't his fault. Someone has to be held responsible. That's how it is in the grown-up world. Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing if he just quits. Well, not everyone sees it that way. To truly take responsibility, you have to work the rest of your life for no pay. Yeah, I don't think so. That's one tough grown-up world there. Okay, chat. Let's talk after we present the resignation letter. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far! Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice too, but I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence, but we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, he wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake, he says loudly so that everybody hears him. All right, detective, thank you. Gumshoe's ID tucked swiftly into pocket. Police department ID card allows access to areas of the PD open to detectives. Let's take a look at the card. The number is like 47838853 or something. It's very blurry, but it is slightly readable. Detective Gumshoe isn't very photogenic, is he? Whatever you do, just don't say that to his face. Look, his eyes are half shut. Yeah, and his mouth is half open. Hey, each of his shirt buttons is off a notch. And he's got the narrow end of his tie in front. Don't worry, the people are deaf, that's fair. I think this goes way beyond being a photogenic issue. It's like, it's very hard to read. But I think those are the numbers. Here we go, chat. February 24, Police Department. Chief's Office. Here goes, Mr. Oh, here goes, Mr. Wright. Click. Beep. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Ah! Ah! She hit him again. Poor Gumshoe. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. Didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah, Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up us? I can't talk today. Let's try again. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came to. You're here. What's the point of giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID card crushed and rendered unusable in pocket? Why did we crush his ID card? Wait, what? Wait, that didn't flow between the... What? Why did we... Just give it back to him. What's wrong with you, Phoenix? Hey, don't do that to my card. Yeah, exactly. Why did we just do that? Big fail on our part, I guess. Hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured to have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Well, come on, let's see what we can find out. Got a bad feeling about this. The desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. I guess? Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. Wants us to always be alert. Told us himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. Ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant, the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. We're a jerk, we really are. Chief Gant. So Leaf Chat, we're almost done with the investigation, if I recall correctly. We have like maybe 1 or 2 extra things after this. But we're gonna go into the final day of trial very soon. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? It's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Phoenix ... Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah. You wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind, don't worry about it. Okay. Now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. Don't just let it go at that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Oh, poor Gumshoe. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Well, we're gonna start with the safe. This is the safe, isn't it? Okay, that was very Suikoden-esque. That's exactly what Blue Donna would say, pretty much. Safe? The word is ripe with intrigue. Oh, okay. If you say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. 7-digit number. Think I might just know what it is. Gee, chat, I wonder what the number is. It could be anything. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Chat, it could be anything. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? It's... And he never tells us. Dramatic zoom. I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Eight 675-309. I don't think we're calling Jenny. The dumbest passcode. All sevens chat. Code confirmed. Access granted. Bingo. What number did you enter? It should have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just saying, chat. Then he could have had fun running his fingers along the inputs when he does his code every time. Whose birthday was that, pal? 777777. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of my mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 7777777? That ID number? I think you're 17 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. You should be ashamed of that code. It's the same as my luggage? Oh no. I was gonna say earlier when they were talking about the Blue Badger, we did make a joke about merchandising. At least I think we did. Maybe that was off stream, who knows. Say, anyone care to look inside? Well, I'm gonna keep going, I guess. Is any money in there? How much does he have stashed anyway? Oh, excuse me. Away, excuse me. Not anyway. Look, it's Gee, chat, I wonder if this matches anything we have. A shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar? What do you mean somehow? What? You've seen it in like two. You have it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Phoenix, not only did you just see it in the photo you received, but you literally have it. It's like it's right here. Wasn't even that long ago. Where have I seen this before? You're right. Phoenix apparently agrees. There's something else in here too. What's this? Looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. Think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Where does he store everything? Listen, his pockets are really deep. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you could prove they have something to do with this case, afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. I have to prove their relevancy to get them. Gumshoe making things harder than it has to be. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Seriously? Come on. There's gotta be something we can show the detective. Okay, what does she have to say about the organ? Chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Usually you hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor. This is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When a detective screws up, the chief calls them into his office, makes them listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's besides the point. Well, I guess we're just immediately going to present the unstable jar. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Oh, those were the days. Gumshoe, was like literally yesterday. Kind of early to be nostalgic, exactly, Phoenix. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right! One of the shards had SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Let's assemble. Here, let me... Oh, excuse me. Here, let me see that shard. Take a crack at this. Well, that felt like a pun because the jar is all cracked up. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. I can piece this together again. It'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. I don't even have to rotate it. Wow. That was easy. There. Fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But... Hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. Reddish line. That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Sable jar update in the court record. Final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. Blood traces. Well, I guess we just present the fingerprint set. Detective Gumshoe, I think you'd have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. All right, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. I feel like the ... is so appropriate there, and the shocked face. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't... Oh, excuse me. Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. Talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, haha, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Jeez, where's your sense of humor? I don't know if he was joking. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth, and once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Wow, Phoenix. Woo. Real maturity level there on that comment. All right, let's get this over with. Oh. Sure, we'll try the middle finger first. I was just kind of mashing in general. I'm gonna put so much dust here, we get it in one try. You ready, chat? Hopefully this is the finger that we need. There you go. You satisfied, game? Are you gonna be happy with this? I'm gonna make it snow, chat. Listen, I'm not doing this again. There we go. I did it this time, chat. So chat, whose fingerprint do you think is actually on the urn? I'll give you a moment to think about it. But I'll give a hint, chat, it's not Damon Gans. I'm gonna slowly rotate through the characters. The Blue Badger, you're right. Well, chat, it's not Mike Meekins. It is not Jake Marshall. It is not Bruce Goodman. It is not Gumshoe, although that'd be pretty funny. It is not Lana Skye. Uh-oh. Hope you guessed Emma. Comparison complete. Match found. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. Thought they'd be Dark's fingerprints. Huh. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Wow, we're just getting all the evidence. Found in Chief Scan's safe, evidence for something, but what? Bears Emma Sky's prints. Piece of cloth folded and added to court record. This is Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's nothing, not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's keeping it clean. Does Lana ever, does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff of legends. Oh, they were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or memory of the crime? Shelves are mostly empty. I must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. It's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, it's when Lana and I went to that theme park. Ooh, that theme park. I wonder if it's a reference to something in one of the offshoot games. Look at that giant window. So you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making Detective, always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. As long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his reward trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. But he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Wow, Phoenix. So I think we've investigated everything except for two things. It's a real deal, isn't it? These armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. Chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. You know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Geesh, be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in the armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Get it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. You see pretty far from 15 stories up. If we were to drop that suit from here... At first, the chief wanted to use the stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Let's investigate the desk, which I was trying to avoid on purpose. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, we were here earlier. Yep, I had a feeling this would cause this to happen. Oh, it's you two, Chief Gant. And he put away the paper he was reading. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence. In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SL9 incident. Wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said I wonder what... No, about the evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. That's right. Guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-size list of evidence. Edgeworth says the list of evidence seems too short. Most lists are twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it. Chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Evidence list added to the court record. List of evidence SL9 incident was ripped in half, so this is the part. So this part is all I've got. Well, was I any help? Not really. You made the investigation slower. Of course, we lie to him. Evidence list? Oh no. Ludana lives on in the chat. Thanks to your ID card, we're able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Ah! Chief Gant. We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Wow. Way to just announce our plans loudly in front of everybody. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. So I was walking to my meeting. I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog running right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But sir. Now get out. Yes, sir. Wow, chat, we demoted him right on the spot. We'll be on our way too then. Wait, you, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright! Look, pal. If I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? But you said you didn't care anymore if you're fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence... Oh, now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it this whole time? Anyway, you listening to me? I try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. Said the police wanted to ask her some questions. She'd be busy for the rest of the day. February 24th, Detention Center. Visitor's room. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Heard it, Chad. It's no use! Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. Rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell the rest of the story. Keeping quiet, Chad. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there's no incriminating evidence. That's when it hits me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so. Because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So, you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who may I ask is this person you're speaking of? And what I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is the person's name? I love it literally defaults to him. That's amazing. Take that! Well, Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, you're addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. Take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? I love that there's only one option. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was... me. Oh, excuse me. Me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other. Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof Chief Gant falsified evidence in the case. Well, I'm just gonna provide literally the list of evidence that's falsified, potentially. Although, it looks like I can't actually investigate it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's... She did say she drew it. Pictures drawn on the back of the evidence list and magic marker. I had a very bad feeling about this. Time to present it. Take that! Phoenix did it, confirmed. You're right, Dango. Just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece, and this piece of cloth. You know what these are. They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Orders? Although I can't tell you the details, I could say I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected, despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. I found the body. This was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with the other knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife? That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes. Seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. A star, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? Dark's knife? We're so close, chat. We're so close to the trial. It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in Joe Dark's case. If word got out, which it would have, the reporters would have a field day with that. So, you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister. To tell her what happened, and ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma. I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant. The first thing I did was make a phone call. Phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. The Marshal? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. Wanted that fact to be kept hidden. Needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, decided to take things into his own hands. Disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He'd already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So, your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Which, I don't know why you're an investigator, to be honest. That's fine. Phoenix Wright, every job possible. At some point, we're just gonna be straight up just like police chief, chat. We're just gonna be every role. Now, please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. Gotta get to the bottom of everything. We're gonna become God, exactly. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down at the chief's office 2 years ago. To be continued. Here we go, chat. The final trial is here. Let's go. Final day, trial former. Fry Cook Attorney, Hot Wings of Justice. February 25th, 9:47 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 2. This is the defendant lobby, all right. But there's no defendant. Been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It's almost as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh, wrong person. Edgeworth. Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there's still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't officially been charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. I'm pretty sure this isn't... I mean, I guess technically we could be talking about plea bargains, but man, we're playing so fast and loose with case law and everything else. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright. This is it. If I'm ever gonna find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. February 25th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Bang. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. He just materializes into the courtroom. Good morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Udgy, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? The music stops. Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Oh, I'm sure they're constantly shaking their heads in disappointment. Listen, they never go up and down in agreement. They're like, oh, that Phoenix is at it again. What a moron. Like, pretty much. This the left-right motion. Like, What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana. There you go. Shaking head no again. Bang, bang, bang. Objection. You can't. Your Honor, defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana, Your Honor, hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it's sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defense certainly has the right to self-representation. A request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Bang. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial. Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Where's the hold it? Objection. Oh, for the prosecutor. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Oh, this might be the first time, chat, they've ever cared about reasonable doubt. This is like every other time, like, no, he's guilty. Just like, I guess he finally decided. Yeah, the first and probably only time. Probably true. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you. Why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Grant. Or Gant, I meant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Hold it. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Bang. Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy. You'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has finally decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, witness, state your name and occupation. The dang, I like that. My name is Emma. Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister. And I want to be a scientific investigator. I don't think your occupation is being little sister, but sure, that's fine. But why is Wright still here? He's been dismissed, that's true. I don't remember why he's allowed to stick around. I guess we'll find out what BS thing they say to bring him in. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay. Well, okay then. He sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Wait, why is Phoenix here though, seriously? I guess I'm defending her and not technically the other person? Is this a technicality? 2 years ago, testimony. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable, however. Please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. You heard it, chat. We're just in. Listen, just ignore whatever just happened. Well, obviously, chat, when she said she never forgot that instant, we have to somehow introduce the picture. But she didn't mention the picture, so presenting your evidence here would get you a penalty. So let's press her on this. Hold it! Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a moment. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then, lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I visited the defendant, so I don't know why she needed representation. Like, completely forgot that happened, now it's bothering me. Poor Dango. I'm so sorry. They're gonna break so many more rules between now and the end. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Let's hear more. So, you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. This is word for word a recount of Wright earlier in the case? Yeah, pretty much, sadly. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Let's ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it is a very important meaning. Objection! But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. Your picture didn't look like this? Yeah, pretty much. It seems to have been lost. If only it could be found. Oh, wait. Here it is. I like that you do actually need to kind of flip it over to realize the image is there. I like that you actually have to use that mechanic to learn about that. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold! This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please, turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Oh, what is this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Indeed. 2 men appear to be wrestling here. Objection. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These 2 lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. Oh! Bang. Order, order. But Miss Sky, what did you draw your picture on the back of... Oh, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor. Are you all right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. M, chat. All the M. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Yeah, gotta get your M's on. Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this is an act of vandalism. Excuse me. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updated in court record. List of evidence in the SL9 incident. Half of the list was found against desk. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Emma's picture. Lord Badger strikes again, chat. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. I already see what the issue is with the picture. But let's see what we could do with it. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to this, though, she's able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. Oh, you're so bad, Judge. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Did chat piece together what I'm referencing? Let's find out, chat. So that's the picture she drew 2 years ago. She must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Well, chat, you might have noticed. What would be the best way to describe it? There's a couple problems here. So let's take a look at the autopsy report. The time of death is fine. The victim is fine. Single stab wound piercing heart lung. Died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found and wound was missing tip. But chat, if he died from a single stab wound, what happened to the tip of the weapon in her image? That should be the question you should be thinking about, chat. Let's go ahead and do the autopsy report. Objection! Chat, redeem shows the Lord Blue Badger. Oh no. I mean, I could probably make that a command, to be honest. It'll just be like Blue Badger. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? I still remember it like it was just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? There we go. We're gonna poke it. Take that! The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. You look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Objection. All right, that's just a rectangle. Yeah, that's also true. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Objection, it is that easy, Emma, pretty much. Oh, what's the meaning of this? Objection. Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Objection. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. Bang. That's right. But what does this mean? Objection. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. Objection. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time. She's sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Objection! Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ugh! Bang, bang, bang. Order, order, order! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark, along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Also, chat, I'll go back to it in case I forget later. So the whole thing where I mistook his name for Demon, and then earlier I was thinking of the line that Lana said in this session where she said she sold her soul. It's like selling her soul to the devil because he's a demon. But that was cute when they did that. Just wanted to reference that earlier before I forget. Anyway, back to the dialogue. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. Also, his name is Dark because they killed him in the dark room, I guess. It's my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. Phoenix ... exclamation marks. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? Emma's mistaken? No. We know there's another one. We've talked about this like 5 million times already in chat. I'm just gonna assume chat remembers. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright? In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then, did anyone try connecting the two broken pieces? I think it did come from the knife. I think that wasn't in question. It's just the actual murder weapon was not that. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. Like, I think what's being implied is that after he died, they re-stabbed in the same wound and then broke the knife off on purpose. And where the autopsy was purposely hiding that fact. We'll see. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. I really want to present our attorney badge, chat. You have no idea. Take that. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the... Oh, excuse me. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding? That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was all in likelihood from this award. They're shaking their head, chat. Bang, bang, bang. Order, order, order. Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. Objection, chat. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, the murder and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, I was gonna say, I do want to get some game overs, but I also don't want to replay some of the game. If when we complete this game, we're allowed to chapter select to specific trials, I want to purposely do all the wait and see what happens as like a collection. But if they don't make it that convenient, I'm not gonna do it. I'm sorry, chat. I don't want to replay like several days worth. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? Oh, you should probably look at that, actually. There we go, chat. The completed image. Oh, it was gonna show us anyway. I just wanted to look, just in case. I knew it. This picture, I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list was... Oh, I didn't mean to skip that. So she's just saying she put the list together. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Yeah, she's just saying that she drew both images on the list. Now that it's together, she can see it. That's all she basically said. Bang. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. Witness testimony, Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. There you go, chat. This is certainly most unusual. Objection. Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, Phoenix, that's what that would mean. Yes, very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Hold it. Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further. Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. It was the mascot he was the mascot all along. He protect. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Scott. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Bang. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems like we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Well, we know we have to at least press. Can we get away without pressing about the blue badger? Let's see if we can get away without it. Objection. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? We've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. What is the best way to... Oh, we can rotate it like this too? Oh boy. I'm just trying to see if there's something where it would match the number of bumps. Like, you can see what looks like the horns. Yeah. I'm just trying to think how to rotate it. That's the question. Because, like, obviously I want this to be, like, these points have to be upwards. Is there any way if I rotate it like this, it looks more like the badger? Not really. Maybe something like this? Kind of? I wonder if it'll accept this? I don't know. Oh, it's not right. Alright, let's try again. I'm not good at 3D. I hate 3D stuff. Because I was thinking it would be more like that. Yeah, I mean, I thought that would have counted, to be honest. Because I made the 3 points. And I kind of made the head shape better there. Yeah, this is not my forte. I really don't like 3D puzzles. I'm like, to me that would have worked. So I'm like, I don't really know what the game wants at this point. So let me think about it. I was trying to think if I could have left it on like the side like that. Or if there's some kind of angle that it really wants to get like the exact portions. Like, is this closer to what it wants? Kind of. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the blood's facing, so maybe this works. Nope. Annoying. Welcome to where I'm gonna lose all my points, chat, as I try to get this to... I mean, to me, it looked right, so I'm like, whatever. It's fine. So it's like, how much of an angle does it need me to get for this to be correct, is the question. It's just yeah, like, this is what I'm talking about. These are the things I don't miss in some of the Phoenix Wright, where I'm like, it has to be something like this, like, it just, how steep does it need it to be is the question. See, I would have thought this would have worked. I mean, is this good enough? Are you gonna be satisfied? Nope. Like, come on. At least I'm not getting points off or something. Yeah. Stuff I don't miss in Phoenix Wright 101. This kind of nonsense. I'm like, yes, I understand it's 3D, but it's like, how specific does it need it to be? Like, it's to me, it's just ridiculous. I'm just trying to think about it. So I'm gonna make it like centered. I'm showing the blood. I could move it up a little. Like, do I, like, how much do I tilt it is the question. Like, again, to me, this would also work. So, like, how specific do I need to make it is the question. Like, do I gotta get the axis right? Do I gotta make the points a little more accurate like this? To try to match the balls to it? Like, is this okay? Like... No? Okay. Holy, it's so finicky. So, like, I think I know what to do. I just don't know, like, how steep it needs to be. So it's like, unless I have, like, a literal... Even with the grid, it's kind of annoying. So it's like something like this. But it's like, how much does it need to rotate is the question. The top part should show less. Rotate it a little more like this, maybe. I'm showing the top less, maybe? Is this good enough? I mean, I made it pretty steep there. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. Well, is this a miracle or what? Yeah, that's... I'm just shaking my head, chat. No one could possibly deny this jar of resemblance to the blue badger. I'm just rolling my eyes. Thankfully, we did not get points off for this. No, it can't be. Bang, bang, bang. Order, order, order! The defense has proven its claim. I've definitely felt like it proved it like 5 times or whatever. Mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. Depends on the person playing. I'm not a fan, for sure. First of all, I don't like 3D stuff, so to make me do like weird one-stick movements to re-aim it and then it wants to be like that specific, I hate it, chat. Not gonna lie, this is one of the only reasons I don't like this case. I remember just a lot of gimmicks all at the end and they're just getting stuck on said gimmicks. And it didn't change on the replay, so nothing changed there. Opinion has not changed since I played it originally. That's why I did not call this the best case. And that's why I said the other one was the best case of the game. But anyway, let's continue forward. What's your point?
I hate it!
What do you mean? So, that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. Objection! Finding the blue badger in a boss, like finding images useless and slice into something like that. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? I'll let Jack think about it for a moment. I need to think about this one for a moment too. I'm pretty sure it can only be one of the options, like conclusively one of the options versus maybe one of the options. So I think I'm gonna go with chat. The first option, the location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Thank you for making me rotate that vase. Did not enjoy that gameplay. Yes, very well. Knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office at Damon Gant. Objection. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. Means only the blue badger can save us, something like that. The witness testified so herself. Objection. Yes, it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Objection. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is, there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent that jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. The man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on. What would he have hit? Ah! This suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I could go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oops. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? Oops. No! I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. They're shaking their head no. Objection, chat. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that, coming from you. You recall it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. You hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations. I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it would certainly be difficult to prove this with evidence. We don't have evidence, and we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. Yes, Phoenix. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Miss Skye. Of course, that leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean, the possibility the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, for better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible. Bag. Well, Mr. Wright, it's the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name, the victim may have left behind, we're gonna say is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek, the truth, no matter how painful it may be. And now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys the message that the deceased has left behind. Well, we're not going to bring in the piece of cloth. Let's analyze this a little more. Dark red stains must be blood traces from the incident 2 years ago. Only the fragments found in Chief Gant's office still has lines remaining on it. Anyway, let's go ahead and present the evidence that we've been showing this entire time, which feels a little silly to do, but we're going to tell them to take that. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. The message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Looks like someone wiped away the blood. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is that these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do now is connect these points. The victim's message will become apparent. No. Bang. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make the letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name. So, I mean, I'm just looking at this. So it'd be like, this is the E, right? This would be maybe the M. Although I'm not sure why we're given the present here. Unless we're trying to just join manually. Yeah, maybe we do something like this. Maybe this'll work. I don't know how finicky it's gonna be with me. Okay, hopefully this is good enough, chat. I'm just saying. I hope this is good enough. I mean, I drew Emma. Take that. Okay, good enough. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why I've been thinking about it. Oh, excuse me. Let's try this again. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, never thought it would turn out like this. I did. That one I kind of liked. That one I kind of liked where you like, it showed you the name in an indirect way. And I liked drawing it there. I didn't like so much some of the other things that were in this episode, but we'll talk about that at the end. Emma. So, this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. There's only one thing the victim would write, ouch. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye.